Hey everyone, it's Aubrey, recovering perfectionist, queen of distraction / gardener. I'm sitting on an ant highway right now. I need to move. Sorry, little fellas. Alrighty, so today's tour is going to be a smidge different than tours past. I'm going to sit here and take you through some snippets of videos I've taken of things over the course of the morning, and you are going to listen to me talk and try and read captions at the same time. So put on your thinking caps, grab a cup of tea or coffee, get those brain cells firing, because I'm forcing you to multitask today a little bit more than usual. I apologize. So basically right now I'm experiencing the first wave of garden burnout, and you will see in tomorrow's video, my normal Friday video, just kind of the extent that not just the garden, but that the garden and life has just kind of gotten me to. I mean, I'm fine. I'm taking steps to take care of my mental and physical health, but I feel like I'm kind of feeling the fatigue of the garden chaos a little bit early in the garden season this year. And I think that that has a lot to do with the fact that my toddler stopped napping. So Alec really only naps maybe once or twice a week now, and it's usually like a situation where we're driving home from somewhere during what his typical nap time would have been, and he falls asleep in the car, and sometimes I'm able to transfer him out of his car seat into his bed and I get like maybe a half an hour, but he's just kind of at that point where he does not need that midday sleep, and he is sleeping longer periods throughout the night. He still wakes up in the middle of the night and ends up in my bed inevitably, but I've been really feeling the effects of the lack of that midday break that I grew so accustomed to, that 2-hour chunk during the middle of the day that would give me a chance to kind of recharge and really tackle anything that I needed to get done that's, hard to do with a little set of hands with you. So I'm feeling the fatigue there. And then I'm sure, you gardeners know the beginning of the season when you're, really preparing your garden and just trying to get everything in the ground when it's supposed to be in the ground, and just being on top of getting everything established and making sure that things are alive and, have the nutrients and blah, blah, blah that they need, and make sure that nothing's getting eaten by pests and this, that, and the other. There's just so many moving parts. And then it's also that time of year where everything in your yard starts coming back to life, and it's like, oh wow, that area of the yard is really overgrown. I need to do this and that. And it's like, while you're checking things off of your to-do list, you're noticing all the things that you're also needing to add to your to-do list. And it gets overwhelming, especially for someone like me with ADHD who already has a hard time delegating tasks. It can be really overwhelming in the moment when it's like, oh wow, I'm so happy that I got blah, blah, blah done, or I'm glad that, I'm in the middle of doing such and such, but then my brain, will zone in on something else that I feel like I'm neglecting or I feel like isn't getting done. And this time of year, when I'm spending much more time outside in the garden than I would be inside, there are things that are getting neglected. And just kind of that time of year where I'm doing the bare minimum in certain areas of my life, and it's starting to show, but I'm taking steps, asking for help when I wouldn't normally ask for help, like a certain level of help you'll see tomorrow that I would never typically gravitate towards. But I'm doing what I can to take care of myself so I can take care of my people. And yeah, also ladies, when your monthly gift comes in the week prior, we're just not the same people. It's hard being a woman. It's like, oh, you get 2 good weeks out of a month, and the other half, like, you're lucky if you can function. And I do have some labs that I'm getting done tomorrow just to make sure that everything is fine in my body, nutrient and hormone wise. Last year was the first year that I really had a grown-up checkup, and I did get an A on my labs, so I'm hoping for the same thing this year. So fingers crossed that everything is, right as rain. But yeah, I'm just kind of feeling a level of burnout that I was not expecting to feel. I'll have to go back to the weekly garden tour from last year and see if I was feeling the same way. I don't think so. I don't remember this. Then this time last year, Alec was taking 2-hour naps during the day, and that was so cool. And I'm starting to just take steps here and there to make things easier for myself. Like I had mentioned, I think in last week's video, I talked about how I was watering from our water drums and having to go back and forth with a watering can, and I'm not doing that anymore last week. I just started watering with the hose from the house, and part of me feels guilty that I'm not using the rainwater that we collected, but it will be there, you know, for when we need it, and summer's coming, so it's not like we're going to be having a ton of rain. So I think we're going to wrap up today's makeshift garden tour, and I will see you next week. Hopefully within a few days I'll be feeling a little less drained, if you know what I mean. I'm looking forward to the phase of my month where I've like got all the energy. It's the best. Okay, so that's all for real. Thank you for tagging along with me for another garden tour. I will see you in the next one. As always, I love you, have fun, and be kind. Alrighty, so this morning when I made that video, I was feeling like very, very drained in that moment, and I forgot to add on how, even though this can be exhausting at times, I don't think that I could ever not garden. My parents have year after year said, I don't think we're going to do a garden next year. I don't think we're going to do a garden next year. And every year, the following year, they, lo and behold, always have a garden. And I've also done that, even though this is only my 5th year gardening. At least 2 out of our past 4 years, I've done the same thing, like felt burnt out at the end, said, I'm not going to have a garden. But it's just so fulfilling. And the little moments that I get to experience with the kids are just absolutely priceless. And even though I'm feeling a little tired now, I love it, and it's worth it. I mean, I don't know if my attitude, if you ask my husband, he might not say it's worth it, but I love it. I'm happy out here.